So we have this incredible shared blueprint for our future, right? It's the UN's 17 Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, and they cover pretty much everything, from ending poverty to climate action. But here's the thing, there's a huge problem. We're facing a massive breakdown in execution that's putting, well, everything at risk. Despite all the goodwill, all the big plans, progress hasn't just slowed down. In many ways, it's completely stalled. And that brings us right to the heart of the challenge we're going to unpack today. So why? Why are these absolutely crucial, world-changing goals so far behind schedule? It's not really about a lack of money or even a lack of effort. The real problem, as we're about to see, is a problem of design. What the sources we're looking at are arguing is that the issue isn't the goals themselves. The real problem is we're missing a global operating system. Think about it. We've got all these amazing apps for change, but there's no underlying platform to connect them, process information, and actually make them work together. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures the chaos. We have mountains of data that nobody is connecting. And all the key players, business, government, academia, they're all running in different directions. It's kind of like trying to build a car where the engine team never, ever talks to the wheel team. It's not going to work. So, how in the world do you build that missing system? Well, a really unique strategic collaboration is trying to do exactly that by bringing together 4 key components. Each one is designed to solve a very specific piece of the puzzle. Let's break down how they all fit together. Okay, first things first, you need a source of truth, and that's SDG metrics. This was developed at Erasmus University, Rotterdam. And it's basically the data and intelligence engine. You can think of it as the brains of the whole operation. It provides the objective foundation for everything else. And here's the really brilliant part. SDG Metrics uses advanced AI. We're talking the same kind of tech that powers tools like ChatGPT to scan just massive amounts of research and reports. It takes a company's vague claim of, say, being sustainable and turns it into a hard, measurable score. All of a sudden, you can actually compare apples to apples. Next up, once you have all that data, you've got to make sense of it, right? And that's where ThoughtSpace comes in. It's a 3D cognitive engine, which, it's a fancy way of saying it's a tool for visualizing these incredibly complex, interconnected problems. So instead of everyone being buried in flat spreadsheets, all the stakeholders can see the entire system in a shared 3D space. It's like you're moving from a really confusing street-level view to a crystal-clear satellite map. You can instantly spot the bottlenecks, find the leverage points, and, most importantly, agree on a path forward, together. Now, data and maps are totally useless without the right people to use them. That's the role of our third component, intent. It was founded by Andre and Rosalie Hoffman, and this is really the human element of the system, the convener that gets the right leaders and experts around the same table. And what intent builds is maybe the most critical asset of all, trust. By bridging those gaps between business, government, and civil society, it creates the common ground you need for real collaboration to happen. It also champions a much broader view of value, recognizing that things like social, human, and natural capital are just as vital as financial profit. Okay, finally, the system needs fuel. It needs power, and that's where TBLI comes in. It stands for Triple Bottom Line Investing, and this is the financial engine that turns all those great ideas into funded, on-the-ground realities. This piece is absolutely essential. TBLI's network of impact investors takes the clear data from SDG metrics and the action plans from ThoughtSpace and Intent, and then connects them to the capital needed to make it all happen. It's what closes the loop. So there we have it. These 4 powerful components: data, visualization, mobilization, and funding. Now let's see how they connect to form this seamless pipeline, one that takes us from just raw information to real, tangible change in the world. This right here is the core logic of the entire system, and it's a really powerful closed loop. You start with objective knowledge. That knowledge then enables intelligent dialogue. That dialogue leads to coordinated action, and that action is sustained by smart investment, which in turn generates new data, and the whole cycle starts over again, but stronger. And this table just lays out the beautiful simplicity of the whole design. Each critical stage of the problem-solving process has a dedicated expert partner. There are no gaps. SDG Metrics provides the what, ThoughtSpace clarifies the how, Intent gathers the who, and TBLI secures the with what. It's a complete end-to-end solution. Here's another way to look at it. To solve any complex problem, you really have to answer four fundamental questions. This system is designed so that each partner answers one of them perfectly. So what is actually happening? SDG metrics gives us the data. How do all the parts interact? Thought space shows us the system. Who needs to be in the room? Intent brings them together. And of course, how do we pay for it? TBLI finds the capital. It's a complete decision engine. If you're still trying to put it all together, this analogy makes it absolutely crystal clear. Just think of this whole system as a Waze or a Google Maps, but for global progress. SDG Metrics is your live data. It tells you your exact location and where all the traffic jams are. Thought Space is the map itself, showing you every single possible route. Intent is like the carpool feature, getting the right people in the car with you. And TBLI, that's the fuel in the tank, making sure you can actually complete the journey. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually mean for a real organization? Let's look at the practical outcomes this system can deliver. Let's take a corporation that's struggling with ESG. That's environmental, social, and governance. They're often just lost in this fog of confusing metrics and competing standards. This system cuts right through that noise. It transforms them from a state of confusion and risk to one of clarity, giving them credible data on their impact and direct access to capital for their green initiatives. Now, think about a national government. Way too often, the Ministry of Environment has no clue what the Ministry of Finance is funding. You get these fragmented plans and so much wasted effort. This system is designed to break down those silos, creating a single integrated national operating environment where every single part of the government is finally pulling in the same direction. When you really step back and look at this, you realize the ambition here is just enormous. This isn't just another project or another platform. It's a fundamental shift in how we approach global problem solving. And this quote from the source says it all. The goal is to create a true global operating system for sustainable development. It's meant to be a shared public infrastructure that any organization, from a small city to an entire country or a huge multinational company, can plug into to accelerate their progress. So what's the ultimate takeaway here? Well, this collaboration represents a critical shift. We're moving from isolated projects to integrated systems. It moves us from simply having goals to actually building the engine that can achieve them. And that leaves us with a really fascinating question. If we can build an operating system for sustainability, what other global challenges could we solve next?